Ukraine could retake all its land occupied by Russia. The sudden and striking rhetorical shift in Ukraine's favor came in a post on Truth Social, shortly after Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. Trump wrote that Kyiv should act now with Moscow facing big economic problems, and that, quote, Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. Such an extraordinary reversal would require Kyiv to expel Russian forces from 20% of its territory, including the Crimean Peninsula, which Moscow has held since 2014. Trump has previously suggested Kyiv should consider giving up territory in order to make peace. That has fueled Ukrainian fears of behind-the-scenes talks over a deal that would seek to recognize its occupied lands as legally Russian. Zelensky later told reporters his meeting with the American leader had been, quote, good and constructive, without going into details. As he left the press conference, he hailed Trump's Truth Social statement.
It's a big shift. This post of Trump, it's a big shift.
Zelensky later told Fox News that he thought the positions of the Ukrainian and U.S. teams were, quote, closer than any time before, and that he thought Trump's position had changed. Europe's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, praised Trump's statements, while Russia's deputy UN ambassador, Dmitry Polyansky, downplayed their significance, saying, quote, don't get so excited about every tweet. While a marked shift, Trump's only firm commitment in the post was to, quote, continue to supply weapons to NATO for NATO to do what they want with them. That's an apparent reference to a new mechanism allowing European countries to buy U.S. weapons for Ukraine. Zelensky said he had reached a, quote, understanding with Trump to provide security guarantees to Ukraine when the war ended, but again did not provide specifics.
It was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. For those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever. Erica Kirk forgave the man who shot her husband. She forgave him. That is an example we should follow. If you believe in the teachings of Jesus, as I do, there it was. That's it. A selfless act of grace, forgiveness from a grieving widow. It touched me deeply, and I hope it touches many. And if there's anything we should take from this tragedy to carry forward, I hope it can be that. This show is not important. What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this.
Jimmy Kimmel returned to late-night television on Tuesday, 6 days after his on-air comments about the murder of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk led ABC owner Walt Disney to suspend his show. Kimmel addressed the controversy in an emotional monologue at the top of the program.
You understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever.
He praised Kirk's widow, who, at a memorial service for her late husband over the weekend, said she forgave his alleged killer.
Forgiveness from a grieving widow. It touched me deeply, and I hope it touches many.
Kimmel, citing the decision by CBS to pull the late-night show of Stephen Colbert, went on to defend free speech and political satire against what he called bullying by the administration of President Donald Trump.
And that's something I'm embarrassed to say I took for granted until they pulled my friend Stephen off the air and tried to coerce the affiliates who run our show in the cities that you live in to take my show off the air. That's not legal. That's not American. That is un-American, and it is so dangerous.
Before Kimmel's show aired on Tuesday, Trump wrote on Truth Social that he was in disbelief ABC had given the late-night host back his show. He also hinted at future action against the network, writing, quote, "I think we're going to test ABC out on this." Disney's decision to end Kimmel's suspension marks a high-profile rebuke in the face of an escalating crackdown by Trump on his perceived media critics through litigation, as well as regulatory threats from the Federal Communications Commission. However, while Disney has now brought back Kimmel to ABC's lineup, two major broadcast station owners, Nexstar Media Group and Sinclair, are continuing to boycott the show, thus keeping it off air in some parts of the country. It is unclear how long the local broadcasters will continue to shun the program.
New Directions Community Credit Union is now open in Titusville. They may be new to our community, but they've been serving our region since 1974, providing their members with affordable products and services. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, volunteers, attends school, regularly conducts business, or who owns a business in Venango, Forest, Warren, or Crawford counties. Visit their new location at 206 South Martin Street in Titusville to learn more about becoming a member. Best of luck to all the students and athletes this fall from New Directions Community Credit Union.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville. Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Our new home.
Somebody pinch me.
Somebody say pinch?
Pinch, pinch.
We mean we just bought this.
Yeah, we just bought a new house. Why are there crabs?
Don't call for pinches. Call for protection.
Hit it.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your State Farm agent is ready to help you choose the right coverage for your new house and your car.
All right, which way to the sea?
We're in Ohio.
So is that close or?
No.
You got a pool?
No.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Ronnie Long.
And I'm Lisa Mellon.
The name Armstrong reflects more than just a company. It's a promise.
While others focus on the short term, we're building for a future that's limitless.
From the dawn of cable television to the rise of the digital age, we've delivered cutting-edge technology like our advanced fiber network that redefines what's possible.
Guided by our core values, we have proudly served and strengthened communities like yours for generations.
Fat Chad's is Titusville's premier dining destination. Come hungry and enjoy these menu favorites: T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Dive into fresh pasta entrees like shrimp and scallop pasta or our signature Asiago chicken. And don't miss our famous burgers and fish sandwiches, all served with fresh cut fries. Fridays mean prime rib specials. Enjoy wild game Saturdays. And on Sundays, it's our all-you-can-eat wing buffet. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
211 is an easy-to-remember telephone number for finding health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. Every day, highly trained 211 call specialists provide referrals to basic human needs resources like food banks and shelters, physical and mental health, employment support, support for youth and child care programs, and support for adults and persons with disabilities. To learn more, dial 211 or visit pa211nw.org.
U.S. stocks finished lower on Tuesday, with the Dow dropping about 0.2%, the S&P 500 shedding more than 0.5%, and the Nasdaq losing about 1%. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell offered few clues as to when the central bank might next cut interest rates. The Fed reduced rates last week by 0.25 percentage point in what was its first rate cut of the year. Carol Schleif is chief market strategist at BMO Private Wealth.
The stock market today, I think, is doing a bit of a natural take a breather after the sprint it's been on in the last few weeks in particular. I would suspect some of today's market action too is people knew that Chairman Powell was speaking at this around noon, and they were wanting more clarity, the sort of clarity we got out of Jackson Hole, and instead we got the sort of mixed message that we got out of the last FOMC meeting. So that's partly, I just think people are they're drifting around a bit looking for the next news item to attach to.
Tylenol maker Kenvue's stock bounced back on Tuesday, rebounding from a record low hit in the previous session. Investors noted the lack of new scientific evidence in President Trump's press conference a day earlier, in which he claimed a link between autism and Tylenol use by pregnant women. Other notable stock moves included AI darling NVIDIA, which shed more than 2.5% after rising the previous session when the chipmaker said it plans to invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. Shares of Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple also closed lower. And shares of Micron Technology rose over 2% in extended trading after the memory chip maker forecast first quarter revenue above market estimates, betting on booming demand for AI hardware to boost its sales.
All right, let's take a look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania on this Wednesday morning. Rain showers early, evolving to a more steady rain for the afternoon. Highs today in the low 70s. Steady light rain this evening. Showers continuing overnight with lows in the low 60s. Thursday, rain, thunder, high of 70. Friday, partly cloudy, mid-70s. Saturday, partly cloudy, upper 70s. Sunday, partly cloudy, a high of 80. That is a look at your weather forecast at 7:15. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Waking up with Luke and Amy on the Morning Drill. Thanks for starting your day with us on the Morning Drill. Can we try to squeeze the name of the show in one more time?
All right, Wednesday morning, middle of the week. Boy, I really struggled with that yesterday, thinking, okay, is it Wednesday? It feels like Wednesday, but no, it's Tuesday. Yeah, it was one of those really confusing days. Well, every day is confusing for me, as you would attest to.
Yep.
But getting closer to the weekend, there's so much going on. A lot of great events continuing to take place. We got a lot going on today. We're going to revisit maybe a conversation we had with Meadville Chamber Director Christa Lundy, because she's got so much happening with the Meadville Chamber.
She does.
Also, Susan Williams from the Venango Chamber. I believe Mr. Ron Arnold makes his return to the studio this morning from Crawford County, and looking forward to catching up with Ron. It's been a while since Ron's been with us, and awesome. Ron talks about really important issues, and it's got just a lot going on, so looking forward to catching up with Ron, and yeah.
Fantastic.
That's all today.
Holy cow.
And I kept thinking, like, no, Ron's not on today. I think that's the last Wednesday in the month. Isn't that next week? No.
It's
like...
I know. I don't even want to talk about it.
I had... we have guests that appear on the program the last Friday of the month. And I ran into one of them yesterday, and they're like, is it this Friday? I said, yeah, it's this Friday. It's like, holy cow, what happened?
I know.
What happened?
I had to run across the street into a store to get a light bulb yesterday, and the lady was moving Halloween stuff down one aisle, and then there was a whole other aisle with Christmas stuff up. Like, really? Not yet.
Well.
Not yet.
Okay.
I can't even find the Halloween stuff that I'll tell you, you know this. I came across this one Halloween item you and I have been wanting for like 3 years now.
No, probably like 15. It has been.
Not this one. No. It's only been out for like 3 years.
Okay, then I don't know what you're talking about.
The Headless Horseman statue.
Oh. No, that's been in that catalog for 15 years.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it just came out.
No, because one of my friends and I have looked at it every year and joked about we would go
it's
in
like
half and split years.
It's half off.
That's still no.
Come on, 15 years? You say 15.
I'm not kidding. It's been it has been in that catalog for 15 years.
I remember 3 years ago really trying to figure out, okay, where would we put it? And it was expensive. But now it's like, well, it's still expensive.
It's still expensive.
But it's like, oh, that would be really cool.
It would be amazing. I would love it. But no.
Early birthday present for you?
That would be Christmas, birthday, Mother's Day, everything.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You have.
I like these things where, Amy gets a gift that's...
it's just amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing, and it covers everything.
Yeah, and
I'm okay if you do that, but I already bought myself a Christmas present, so you'll have to get that to me now.
Okay. I wonder if anybody else has done that. Like, here's your gift, but this covers the year. Like, everything you could think of. Christmas,
and
birthday,
like
Mother's Day. This is it.
I really am good with that.
Like, this is not necessarily monetarily wise, a sizable gift, but something that's really meaningful.
That you've wanted for a really, really long time.
Yeah. Like, good for the year.
One was so great.
I don't even remember what it was.
Annabelle.
Oh, okay. Another Halloween-related item.
So great. It was so great.
See, for me, it's great. Then I don't have to. Well, I say that. I was going to say I don't have that pressure of like Christmas or whatever to get you something.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
But then I feel guilty that you don't have something.
I usually do have something. I'll like, oh, I like this sweater. I like the, and I'll buy it and hand it to you and say, here.
Okay.
See?
I'm off the hook, but I still feel guilty.
You don't have to.
It's like, well, you got me that one thing that covers all the bases. And then there's other times where it's like, yeah, great, I forgot to get you something. Yeah, I'm glad that covers that because
I will tell you, still no, but he would cover Christmas for 2 years and all the other holidays.
Really? See, that's something I might.
He is 15 years of wanting something. Yes, it would cover Christmas for 2 years and all the holidays in between.
Can I get that in writing?
Sure.
If you put that in writing, then let me figure it out, okay?
I know a notary,
Yes, that would be great.
All will be great.
I want it notarized, and yes.
You're covered.
I just want to make sure.
Covered.
Because there are times I feel like I have to bring that out and be like, nope, you said here that if I got you this.
You'd be covered. Then the question comes, does he go in the window with a light?
Jeez.
Or does he go, I'd be afraid if I put him on the porch, he'd get stolen.
Well.
But if he could come.
We ran into this was
it'd be really cool to be on the front porch, off to the side.
Oh, I know. We ran into some friends beginning of September, and we were picking up a couple Halloween related items, and they really don't do that. And they're like, "Do you decorate for Halloween?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're all in. Yeah, we do the holidays pretty hard. Halloween, Christmas." And
we used to do Easter.
Yeah,
it just was like.
It's just I don't know what it is. Easter. It's just like this is the busiest time I think for us in the year, but for some reason, I don't know.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, it's just, we try to do the holidays pretty hard. So, and I'm behind on some things, and it's really irritating me. And because I'm trying to think like, okay, could I do it this day or this day? It's like, no, there's a meeting this day, or we're doing sports this time, or it's going to rain or whatever. So there's some outside things I want to try to wrap up. So this weekend, I'm hoping.
Okay.
I'm hoping. We're going to get to birthdays and what we're celebrating here in just a few moments. Excited about that. Excited about the Ryder Cup kicking off this week, and be chanting USA as Team USA will be going against those Europeans. And it's going to be held at Bethpage Black in New York. So looking forward to hopefully having a little bit of time to watch some of the Ryder Cup, but it's not looking too promising right now.
It's kind of a crazy. Sorry.
Yeah. However, the Steelers are in Dublin this week, and that game is like 9:30 in the morning, so that'll be on NFL Network.
On what day?
Sunday. So,
Okay.
A lot of people will have that. I wonder how many people will be sitting in church on Sunday with their phones like off to the side, just watching or checking scores.
In the good book. I really am looking.
Yes. I'll take the hymnal.
Let me go to that verse.
Let me take the hymnal this week and hold it on my lap, and then I'll put my phone right here.
We're not saying do it, but
No.
it's going to happen.
Or how many people just won't go because of that? So, Vikings and Steelers in Dublin. If we didn't have high school sports we were doing, wouldn't it have been like awesome to go over, take the show on the road?
Sure.
Okay, maybe not.
Oh my!
I've always wanted, and I got to work on this. If there's any car dealership that would like to do a big sponsorship with us, where you loan us like what are the vans that I like?
Like the big.
Yeah, what are those?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, geez.
I know.
All right, I'll research it.
Like the work vans.
No, the other ones. The like the Mercedes Benz.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, those vans.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd love to do like a 2 to 3 week road trip in the summer, where the morning drill is live every morning from a different location on the road trip.
Mm-hmm.
Like head west and swing back around. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Sure. I'll watch it.
A Sprinter van. That's what I was thinking. A Sprinter van.
That's it.
Like just go in style and
hit the road.
Hit the road. National parks, whatever, but just every morning live from a different location.
Sponsored by?
There you go. Give me a call and we'll set that up for next summer. We'll do it in June.
Okay.
I think it'd be great. It'd be great. All right, so we'll work on that for next summer.
All right.
Let's get to birthdays and what we're celebrating here this morning. We're going to start with birthdays. Today's the 24th day of September, and Amy's going to let us know who is celebrating a birthday today.
All right. Actor Kevin Sorbo is 66. Actress Nia Vardalos is 62. Wrestling personality Stephanie McMahon is 48. And actor Ben Platt is 31. And that's all.
Is he the one that was in Miss Congeniality?
No.
Oh, Ben Platt. No, I don't know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name.
Because I thought his name was Benjamin
Pratt.
Ben Pratt. Benjamin Pratt, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't
Who's
Ben Platt?
I have no idea. I've never seen him before.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's like Michael Keaton had to change his name to Michael Keaton. His real name's Michael Douglas.
Oh.
And there's already a Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
And a Mike Douglas. So, All right, from birthdays to what it is we're celebrating here today.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Bluebird of Happiness Day. Bollywood Day, Heritage Day, Lash Stylist Day, National Cherry Jubilees Day, National Horchata Day, National Mofongo Day. These are foods and drinks I've never seen. National Punctuation Day, National Women's Health and Fitness Day, Our Lady of Mercy Day, Schwenkfelder Thanksgiving, Migraine Awareness Week, and that's it. That's all I got.
Right.
I know. It feels like a short day compared to the last few.
Yeah. Just to let you know, recent study here. Research shows that starting your day with an early morning run is the best way to make sure your day can't get any worse than it started. That's supposed to be a joke.
I saw some.
Sorry.
I saw
Not
a dad
very
joke yesterday, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Wait, what is it? What is silent tennis?
What is silent tennis?
It's the same as regular tennis, but without the racket.
Okay, that's
It was such a you joke.
not even funny.
Oh, I know, but it was something you would tell. I was like, yeah, this is like.
Okay.
You know, you would have been like dying if you told it yourself.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would have.
All right, we've got the latest headlines coming up as we approach 7:30 here this morning. Rain showers early, evolving to a more steady rain for the afternoon. We're going to be out tonight in it, watching soccer. Yeah. Steady rain this evening, showers continuing overnight. So that is what is in store for us on this Wednesday morning. All right, latest headlines, plus Christa Lundy, Susan Williams, Ron Arnold, set to join us later this morning. This is the Morning Drill.
The morning drill, the three-line drill. The morning drill, the three-line drill. The morning drill, a three-line drill.
U.S. President Donald Trump said on Tuesday he believed Ukraine could retake all its land occupied by Russia. The sudden and striking rhetorical shift in Ukraine's favor came in a post on Truth Social shortly after Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. Trump wrote that Kyiv should act now with Moscow facing big economic problems, and that, quote, Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. Such an extraordinary reversal would require Kyiv to expel Russian forces from 20% of its territory, including the Crimean Peninsula, which Moscow has held since 2014. Trump has previously suggested Kyiv should consider giving up territory in order to make peace. That has fueled Ukrainian fears of behind-the-scenes talks over a deal that would seek to recognize its occupied lands as legally Russian. Zelensky later told reporters his meeting with the American leader had been, quote, good and constructive, without going into details. As he left the press conference, he hailed Trump's Truth Social statement.
It's a big shift. This post of Trump, it's a big shift.
Zelensky later told Fox News that he thought the positions of the Ukrainian and U.S. teams were, quote, closer than any time before, and that he thought Trump's position had changed. Europe's foreign policy chief Kaja Kallas praised Trump's statements, while Russia's deputy UN ambassador Dmitry Polyansky downplayed their significance, saying, quote, don't get so excited about every tweet. While a marked shift, Trump's only firm commitment in the post was to, quote, continue to supply weapons to NATO for NATO to do what they want with them. That's an apparent reference to a new mechanism allowing European countries to buy U.S. weapons for Ukraine. Zelensky said he had reached a, quote, understanding with Trump to provide security guarantees to Ukraine when the war ended, but again did not provide specifics.
We must admit the world's attention to the UN is fading the organization has less influence, and too often there is a lack of real decisions on fundamental issues. This is exactly what we need to speak about today, about the tools that sadly are not working now. But they will work, I'm sure. They will work if you are active, if we are active, if China truly wanted this war to stop. It could compel Moscow to end the invasion. Without China, Putin's Russia is nothing. Yet too often, China stays silent and distant instead of active for peace. I met with President Trump just now, and we spoke about how to finally bring peace, and we discussed a few good ideas, and I hope they will work. And I'm grateful for this meeting, and we expect America's actions to push Russia toward peace. Moscow fears America and always pays attention to it.
Vehicle shopping? Make sure you check out Titusville Ford first. Shop our amazing selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Visit us on Route 8 in Titusville and see why our customer service is a cut above the rest. Titusville Ford, your hometown dealer.
Discover unforgettable savings of over $8,000 off your next Chevy truck at Community Chevrolet's September to Remember sales event.
It's like the saying goes, a golden retriever never forgets.
I'm not sure you have that right, Clark. You might want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. What's truly memorable is Community's savings this month of more than $8,000 off a 2025 Silverado and nearly $5,000 off top SUVs like the Tahoe. So don't forget about the September to Remember sales event this month only at Community Chevrolet.
Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom, ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Whether you want to go and lead in your craft in the trades, whether you want to go and be that nurse or medical worker and have a real impact on lives, or whether you want to go and help that business improve its bottom line, this is the place, and now is your time to go with confidence, to go with skill, to go succeed. The Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville.
I needed a place I could feel cared for without the long drive. I chose Meadville OBGYN because both my sisters came here, highly recommended Dr. Kristen. Dr. Kristen makes me feel very comfortable, like I'm family, like we're friends, very personable. My daughter Evie was born breech, and it was Dr. Kristen and Dr. Barco, and they were incredible. It was a wonderful experience. I wouldn't ever want to go anywhere else.
Community Connect Federal Credit Union, serving Crawford, Venango, Forest, and Warren counties. Their mission is to provide quality, low-cost, and personal financial products for the growth and security of their members and families. Stop in, call, or visit our website, communityconnectfcu.com, and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street in Titusville.
I'm Ben Leach, Republican nominee for Magisterial District Judge, reminding you to get out and vote Tuesday, November 4th. As the only candidate with over 13 years of real courtroom experience and a dedicated career in the justice system, I've consistently demonstrated the ability to remain fair and impartial. As I continue my lifelong dedication to serving our community, I strive to be the kind of leader our citizens deserve. On November 4th, vote with confidence for a candidate who is qualified day one, bringing the experience needed to serve as your next magisterial district judge.
U.S. stocks finished lower on Tuesday, with the Dow dropping about 0.2%, the S&P 500 shedding more than 0.5%, and the Nasdaq losing about 1%. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell offered few clues as to when the central bank might next cut interest rates. The Fed reduced rates last week by 0.25 percentage point in what was its first rate cut of the year. Carol Schleif is chief market strategist at BMO Private Wealth.
The stock market today, I think, is doing a bit of a natural take a breather after the sprint it's been on in the last few weeks in particular. I would suspect some of today's market action, too, is people knew that Chairman Powell was speaking at this around noon, and they were wanting more clarity, the sort of clarity we got out of Jackson Hole. And instead, we got the sort of mixed message that we got out of the last FOMC meeting. So that's partly, I just think people are they're drifting around a bit looking for the next news item to attach to.
Tylenol maker Kenvue's stock bounced back on Tuesday, rebounding from a record low hit in the previous session. Investors noted the lack of new scientific evidence in President Trump's press conference a day earlier, in which he claimed a link between autism and Tylenol use by pregnant women. Other notable stock moves included AI darling NVIDIA, which shed more than 2.5% after rising the previous session when the chipmaker said it plans to invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. Shares of Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple also closed lower. And shares of Micron Technology rose over 2% in extended trading after the memory chip maker forecast first quarter revenue above market estimates, betting on booming demand for AI hardware to boost its sales.
Joining us this morning is the Executive Director of the Meadville Area Chamber of Commerce. It's Christa Lundy. Krista, good morning. Good to see you, good to hear from you this morning.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Well, give us a recap of how everything went last weekend.
Oh, the Wine, Brew, and Spirits Walk was absolutely wonderful. The weather couldn't have been any better. I mean, we had close to 80 and sunshine, and we had close to 500 people in downtown Meadville, and actually more because second Saturday was absolutely packed from 8 a.m. till they were done about 2 o'clock, and then we transitioned right into the wine walk from 3 to 7. I mean, people were out in the streets with the vendors at the market house, people having breakfast, people having lunch in the restaurant. And then thanks so much to all of our volunteers who helped make the day a success. We could not do this one, especially without the volunteers. Thanks to all the sponsors for, like Street Track and Trail sponsored the side-by-sides to help us do that wine check and merchandise check. A lot of people purchase things at different stores, so I love that new addition that people can shop while they're in line and just check that with their same number. And we had First National Bank and Kinetic and Hagen Business Machines of Meadville that sponsored that. Eternal Glow sponsored our wine tasting glasses, so we only had a couple broke, no problem. We'll replenish them, but I mean, when you have 500 people, a couple is just fine. And a lot of our vendors sold out of things, or some of them that were relatively close had to go back and get more product and come back. So That's a good thing. It was a wonderful day, Saturday in downtown Meadville. And the evening, I know when we got done about, 8:30, 8:45, going around picking up all the signage, the restaurants were really busy. There was live music playing at a couple of them. So it was a wonderful day. Thanks to everyone. And thanks to all the people who attended, who came to the event. Because I know there were a lot of options. There were a lot of events happening in the region, and we're just very thankful we had that many people, and hope to have some more next year.
How many times did you say, or did somebody say, next year we need to blah, blah, blah?
Not very. We don't hear that too often.
Okay.
There aren't too many things we want to change. Just next year, I know the Riverside Brewing event is going to be a different weekend. They had a big festival there, and they want to participate in our event, and they had a lot of people that went to that. We had a couple other things, but we didn't have really too many things we want to change about the event. We've got it down to a science now. So, yeah, all was good.
All right. I know it'll be already planning for next year, and I'm sure you have a lot of those vendors who attended that said, hey, make sure you let us know about next year.
We did, and actually we already sent an email to all of the host locations, which there were a few new ones this year, and they loved it and said, oh, count me in for next year. And we had a couple new vendors, and they already said the same thing, and we asked for constructive criticism if there's anything they'd like us to change. Because some of those vendors do a lot of these events, and if they're seeing something great somewhere, let us know. We'll certainly, make some changes. We want to make it the best it can be. But yeah, we already had our little wrap-up meeting, and on to the next, because we have a lot of other things happening and a couple big signature events happening very soon. But we have a crazy next couple of weeks. We have a ribbon cutting tomorrow at Papa John's Pizza. They're giving away pizza for a year. We're going to be there at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So looking forward to that. And that will be from 11 to 1. Free slices of pizza, and they're doing the ribbon cutting grand opening. So that's the 18th, obviously, tomorrow. And then next Monday, we kick it right off because our Businesswomen's Roundtable group is at No Place Like Home Decor at their relatively new location. They've been there about a year, but it's over in the Woodcock area, so the ladies will be there. Looking forward to that. And then next Tuesday, we have something every day next week, Luke, every day. Tuesday, we have our HR meeting, and that will be at Haas's, of course, and Carolyn Hall of TNT Coverage Connections is going to give us an insurance update. And then next Thursday is our after hours at Bayshore Homes, getting to see all the new homes they have out there. Okay, I lied. Friday, we don't have something official. We just have a meeting in the office.
Well, those are important.
They are very important. They are very important because we're working on the Women in Business Expo. Our vendor spots are half filled already. So, ladies, if you are interested in having a spot at that, that is going to be Wednesday, October 15th at the Country Club of Meadville. We have 2 really great speakers coming, and it's just women supporting other business women, whether you have a home-based business or a business where you sell something like a boutique or something downtown or in the region. You don't have to be just from Meadville, but or you have just a business or nonprofit organization you would like people to know about. Bring your rack cards, bring your laptop with information, come and visit with people, bring your business cards, and let us know what you have to offer. So that's a great evening, and 2 really dynamic, community-minded businesswomen. We have Kathleen Layer of Kathleen Layer Coaching. She's talking about beyond body image, becoming and loving the best version of you. And I think that's very, very important for women of all ages. And we do invite people to bring their daughters. Like, this is a really great event for them to see what people can do and what there is offered out there in the community with businesses. And then Bonnie Kuhn is the Vice President of Kuhn Tool and Die, and also the first woman chairperson or president of the National Tooling and Machining Association. So 2 very different spectrums there, talking business related and then motivational, inspirational.
That's great.
And that's 1 month from now.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, we're going to be talking Christmas soon, Luke.
Well, I see.
I actually just talked to someone about a bus bringing us over to the Cross Creek event. So, yeah, we are talking it already, I guess.
Well, I saw that you'd posted on your Facebook page a lot of Halloween-related things, trunk or treat.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of holiday stuff coming. Again, it's exciting. I think people get excited. I think businesses get excited because, again, it's another spotlight on supporting local business. So I think that's why there's also that excitement. And we have so many great businesses. And I know we talk all the time about, actually parking your car and getting out and walking around and explore. But
Yes.
over the next couple months, really, especially with this weather, get out and just have a good time. Get a good, bite to eat at a great local business. Check into these great, mom and pop. Listen, the box stores, I know it's exciting to go there. Still go there. But make time to go visit these other stores in your downtown because there's some great finds.
Absolutely. And some hidden gems.
Yeah.
And I know that's a big part of our Wine, Brew, and Spirits Walk. We bring people in from all over. And we have people from Pittsburgh. We have people from Youngstown. We have people from Grand Valley. Like, we look at the places where people are coming from, and they're seeing our downtown and what we have, in a lot of these places. And there's things that you might not think of inside some stores. So absolutely hidden gems in every little community, and those are the places that support your ball teams, your churches, your fundraisers, your school projects, whatever, things like that. They're the ones that support those, so be sure to support those, especially during holiday time.
Well, the other thing, Christa, is I know sometimes we up here like to, venture out and go down to Pittsburgh to visit things. Those folks want to, escape Pittsburgh, so they're coming up here to visit. And you just showcased a lot of businesses where they're saying, hey, you know what? Let's come back, next weekend or another weekend in the fall and really get a chance to walk around and spend time here. So, again, that event, that's another great positive impact outside of just, hosting an event. It's getting folks familiar with what we have in our downtowns. Absolutely, and every small town around has something like that. I mean, you have Oil Festival, you have your wine walk there. I mean, Sagertown just had a new event, Sagertown Days. Cambridge Springs has a big festival. A lot is happening in Coney Lake. They're doing a lot more in their downtown. Lionsville has the tractor parade. Like, everybody has something, so take advantage of not only the town that you live in, but the region around it, because we want to be a destination area, and people might be coming to Meadville for an event, but they're staying for the weekend, or they see some things, so they want to come back. And hey,
Maybe they're going to go to Clinic Lake next time. Maybe they're going to venture over to Titusville. Maybe they're going to, whatever it might be. We want to be thinking of the bigger picture and supporting the region, not just the small town that you're in. Don't get me wrong. You definitely want to do that, but think of the bigger picture and the outskirts of the area that you're in as well.
Right. You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
I needed a place I could feel cared for without the long drive. I chose Meadville OBGYN because both my sisters came here, highly recommended Dr. Kristen. Dr. Kristen makes me feel very comfortable. Like I'm family, like we're friends, very personable. My daughter Evie was born breech, and it was Dr. Kristen and Dr. Barco, and they were incredible. It was a wonderful experience. I wouldn't ever want to go anywhere else.
Discover unforgettable savings of over $8,000 off your next Chevy truck at Community Chevrolet's September to Remember sales event.
It's like the saying goes, a golden retriever never forgets.
I'm not sure you have that right, Clark. You might want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. What's truly memorable is Community's savings this month of more than $8,000 off a 2025 Silverado and nearly $5,000 off top SUVs like the Tahoe. So don't forget about the September to Remember sales event this month only at Community Chevrolet.
Well, speaking of Armstrong, I see they're having a business after-hours event on Thursday, October 2nd.
They are. We have our after hours next week, and then the following week there will be another one, because those after hours, the businesses get to choose the date of the month that they want to have it. And so we just happened that Bayshore Homes wanted to have one the end of the month, and then the next month Armstrong wanted to have one the beginning. So they are relatively close, but those two businesses are two of the Chamber's biggest supporters. I have great friends at both places, looking forward to both of those events and seeing what Bayshore has new with their homes and so forth, and hearing from the Martin family about what is happening there and what they're doing. And they do a big Halloween event for the community, so I'm sure they'll talk about that. And then Armstrong, of course, we're going to be in the warehouse, and Megan, their marketing coordinator, used to work at the Chamber, is still a dear friend. We see her very often. We collaborate with them on several things and see her and Kevin for various things. They're one of our greatest supporters, and we collaborate with them often. So we're really looking forward to going there, and I'm sure we'll hear from some of their staff and hear about what they are doing in the community, which is a lot. So looking forward to both those events.
It doesn't slow down for you, does it?
It does not. I'm sounding a little tired this morning. Can you tell?
It's only Wednesday.
It's been really hectic. And Friday was our Leadership Meadville class, their first official class besides orientation. It was History Day. So all of the students were there, all 20 of them. So they had their leadership portion in the morning with Gary, and then they went to the Baldwin Reynolds House Museum and heard from Josh Sherritt. Came back to the Train Depot Museum and heard from Doug Sikorsky, a local historian, and then went to the Sippy Museum over in Sangertown, the National Tooling Museum there, and then come back and heard from Victoria Dixon from the Visitors Bureau about our FEME France connection and what that has done over the years for our community and different things there. So it was a great day. And then we had our Leadership Meadville Committee meeting yesterday at 4 o'clock, so we talked about that and the upcoming couple classes. And then I had a meeting last night at 5:30 about our Italy trip. So I had about 20 people in the Chamber office last night talking about our Italy trip and I was giving tips and packing tips and all of their information to them. So yeah, it was a long day, so I'm dragging a little bit this morning.
Well, just a couple quick things here. One, just so people know, if they're not a Chamber member but would like to be, but want to sit down, learn more, or just get an idea, they can contact you at the office. They can stop in. What's recommended?
Either one. You can shoot us a message on social media. You can email us. You can stop in and see us at 908 Diamond Park. We're in the beautiful Allegheny College Founders House, the yellow building with the white pillars on Diamond Park. You can call us at 814-337-8030, any of those. And any of us can set up a meeting with you. I actually have a meeting today with the marketing person from Papa John's coming up from Pittsburgh, and wanting to know how they can get more involved and going over some things for their event tomorrow.
That's great. And then things like Women in Business Expo, that's coming up in about a month's time. Again, tickets you can get. Can they stop in the office, get them online? What do you recommend there?
There are no actual physical tickets.
Okay.
You just have to call and make a reservation because it is a reservation. We need to know how many people for food-wise and so forth. We usually have about 175 to 185 women there. But if you'd like to reserve a vendor space, please do that sooner than later, ladies, if you're thinking of that. Because I know last year, 1 week, we had about half filled, and then like 10 days later, we were full with a waiting list. So be sure to call and reserve your vendor table for that.
Okay. And then for other things coming up that folks might want to get involved with, again, they can look at those upcoming events on the website, Facebook page, get a hold of you, and they might say or be thinking, boy, you know, our business, this event that you have would be a great fit. Is there any way we could, sponsor it or be part of it? Again, those are conversations you love to have as well.
Absolutely. We're always looking for sponsors for different things. We have several ways to get your company logo or name out there, and we are planning events for 2026. We've already had that meeting and are trying to get as many events confirmed for our 2026 calendar to get that in the December calendar. So anyone wanting to hold a businesswomen's roundtable, or if you want to hold an after hours, or if you have a speaker for one of our HR roundtables, or if you're having an anniversary celebration or whatever that might be, please get a hold of us so we can add that to our calendar.
Christa, great catching up with you here this morning.
You too. Thanks, Luke. And I will be out of town next Wednesday, but I'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. You too.
All right. That's Christa Lundy joining us here this morning, Executive Director of the Meadville Area Chamber of Commerce.
U.S. President Donald Trump said on Tuesday he believed Ukraine could retake all its land occupied by Russia. The sudden and striking rhetorical shift in Ukraine's favor came in a post on Truth Social shortly after Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. Trump wrote that Kyiv should act now with Moscow facing big economic problems, and that, quote, Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. Such an extraordinary reversal would require Kyiv to expel Russian forces from 20% of its territory, including the Crimean Peninsula, which Moscow has held since 2014. Trump has previously suggested Kyiv should consider giving up territory in order to make peace. That has fueled Ukrainian fears of behind-the-scenes talks over a deal that would seek to recognize its occupied lands as legally Russian. Zelensky later told reporters his meeting with the American leader had been, quote, good and constructive, without going into details. As he left the press conference, he hailed Trump's Truth Social statement.
It's a big shift. This post of Trump, it's a big shift.
Zelensky later told Fox News that he thought the positions of the Ukrainian and U.S. teams were, quote, closer than any time before, and that he thought Trump's position had changed. Europe's foreign policy chief Kaja Kallas praised Trump's statements, while Russia's deputy UN ambassador Dmitry Polyansky downplayed their significance, saying, quote, don't get so excited about every tweet. While a marked shift, Trump's only firm commitment in the post was to, quote, continue to supply weapons to NATO for NATO to do what they want with them. That's an apparent reference to a new mechanism allowing European countries to buy U.S. weapons for Ukraine. Zelensky said he had reached a, quote, understanding with Trump to provide security guarantees to Ukraine when the war ended, but again did not provide specifics.
Interstate Pipe and Supply takes pride in providing superior customer service. That's why our dedicated employees are well trained and have the experience to offer friendly, quick, and reliable service and support. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Interstate offers fast delivery from our 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania. We also serve Eastern Ohio, Northern Western Virginia, and Western New York. Service means business at Western Pennsylvania's premier pipe and supply company, Interstate Pipe and Supply.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville. Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733. For over 30 years, J. Gill Plumbing and Heating has taken pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. Our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. And with the J. Gill Service membership, you can take advantage of additional benefits like filter replacements and priority service scheduling. Plus, members get 10% off future projects. Call today to get a free estimate or ask about financing options. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online at jgillplumbingheating.com. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom. Ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
211 is a simple telephone number to remember when you don't know where to go for help. Dial 211 when needing to find health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. It's free and confidential, and you'll have access to thousands of programs and services for emergency and non-emergency situations. Visit pa211nw.org to learn more, and remember, help is available by calling 211.
Are you tired of juggling multiple pill bottles? Titusville Express Pharmacy has your solution, now offering compliance packaging. Your medication sorted and sealed by dose, making it easier than ever to stay on track. In a hurry? Take advantage of our convenient drive-through service. We also offer free local delivery for those that qualify. Titusville Express Pharmacy, where convenience meets care. Visit us today at 401 West Spring Street in Titusville. Simplify your medication routine with Titusville Express Pharmacy.
U.S. stocks finished lower on Tuesday, with the Dow dropping about 0.2%, the S&P 500 shedding more than 0.5%, and the Nasdaq losing about 1%. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell offered few clues as to when the central bank might next cut interest rates. The Fed reduced rates last week by 0.25 percentage point in what was its first rate cut of the year. Carol Schleif is chief market strategist at BMO Private Wealth.
The stock market today, I think, is doing a bit of a natural take a breather after the sprint it's been on in the last few weeks in particular. I would suspect some of today's market action too is people knew that Chairman Powell was speaking at this around noon, and they were wanting more clarity, the sort of clarity we got out of Jackson Hole, and instead we got the sort of mixed message that we got out of the last FOMC meeting. So that's partly, I just think people are they're drifting around a bit looking for the next news item to attach to.
Tylenol maker Kenvue's stock bounced back on Tuesday, rebounding from a record low hit in the previous session. Investors noted the lack of new scientific evidence in President Trump's press conference a day earlier, in which he claimed a link between autism and Tylenol use by pregnant women. Other notable stock moves included AI darling NVIDIA, which shed more than 2.5% after rising the previous session when the chipmaker said it plans to invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. Shares of Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple also closed lower. And shares of Micron Technology rose over 2% in extended trading after the memory chip maker forecast first quarter revenue above market estimates, betting on booming demand for AI hardware to boost its sales.
Well, joining us this morning is the President and CEO of the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce. It's Susan Williams. Good morning, Susan. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm great. Fall has arrived.
It
the
has.
leaves on the ground, and the sun is not shining today, but hopefully before the end of the day, a little bit.
Do you ever just look at those, like the last couple of days, and just go, you know what? It's good because I've got some house cleaning things around the office to take care of, and
Oh my goodness. I haven't come to enjoy planting and taking care of the flowers, but I am tired of watering plants this year. So the much needed rain and timed well. We had a very, very successful cranberry festival over the weekend. So we were very grateful to get through the weekend with beautiful weather and, bring on the rain for me right now for just a little bit. We'd love it. We'd love a dry weekend if we could have that. But
well, you were mentioning last week there were so many things coming up for this past weekend, from Cranberry Festival to galas to Farm and Fork to this region is just hosting so many great things. It seems like, really if you're sitting around at home going, there's nothing going on, you're not looking hard enough. And then you don't even really have to look that hard.
That's right. I'm going to just make a guess that you had a peek at a post that we all saw last night. On Facebook, there was a wonderful post from a young man suggesting that he's tired of hearing all of the comments. Caleb Lewis, who is well known in all of our communities, that tired of hearing there's nothing to do. And any of us that are involved at all, and I know that not everybody is, but those of us who are involved know there's so much to do that I blame that busy schedule and why I'm probably been a little under the weather with a cold kind of caught up with me. Probably a little short on sleep and eating the right things and all of that. There's always things to do. But I also know that those of us that are in the game, we realize it. And we experience people all the time who don't feel like they have access to, what's going on and how to be involved. And so just, to speak to them for a minute, I'd say we're all trying really hard. It's not for lack of wanting to share that information. You do it every day here on the stream. We do it at the Chamber, our favorite ways with our community calendar that we publish on our Be Here Venango website. We're going to make it easier and easier to access that. But it's also, when someone asks you, say yes, whether it's inviting you for a cup of coffee or out, for the evening or to volunteer. If you say no enough times, people will quit asking. So say yes, start saying yes, go try some things. Even if they're not for you, you're likely to meet people and hear about things going on in the community. They may be as exciting as our festivals and our galas, but they also might be as simple as discovering a great path to walk along or a good creek to fish in. It's all there, so just give it a go.
And I feel like we might be in the minority when I say I've got
3 kids and myself who are a little excited to get it out on the slopes.
Me too.
So, even wintertime around here, there is a lot to do. And, these activities, these events that take place, Susan, really help make that time go so quickly.
They do. And, winter is different. It's challenging for those of us that do events. Unless we can do something inside, it gets a little trickier. Everybody would love a great winter festival. We don't have dependable enough snow and winters here to really be able to invest a lot in those kind of things. We've tried, different groups have tried, and I'm sure we'll continue to try that. But the good news is we've had winters that have allowed us to continue to be outside and move around. We've not had any extraordinary snow in the last couple of years. I would say last winter we had some extraordinary cold for a long stretch. But, it's easy to bundle up and get outside and slip in when you need to. And then how lucky are we to be so convenient to drive just an hour or two away and find that the weather's different, that we get into some warmer weather and have a lot of things to do. So I'm particularly sensitive to those who I hear from who may not have the means to spend a lot of money doing things or may not have the transportation. So, I would encourage people to get out and meet people, get to your things that are free in the community. The library, the museums often have free days. There are, many of our community events indeed are free or very, very low at point of entry. So try a few of those things and then draw yourself closer to busy people. They say you are like the sum of the 10 people you spend the most time with. Make sure that you're spending time with people who are enjoying the community, busy doing things. They'll get you involved.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. I want to ask, and this isn't a political question at all. Oil City is, I think, in the search for a city manager. Titusville's in the same boat.
Oil City has announced the city manager.
Okay.
So I believe that was announced, I know it was announced on Monday at the council meeting. Michelle Hoovler, who's been a longtime employee of the city, is going to be serving as our city manager now.
Okay.
So we're excited for her and for her to carry on, a good tradition. Mark set, a good pace for the city, and hopefully she'll take that and continue and improve.
I was going to ask, how important is it, whether it's city manager, state representative, senator, for the chamber to have a voice or be known or to have appointments with those elected officials to say, hey, here's who we are, here's what we do, in case you didn't know, or maybe you have an idea but you want to ask us questions.
Yeah, I think it's really important. In fact, yesterday, it's one of the things I said. So, Michelle, if you're listening, I hope to get a sit down with you soon. I'm sure she's busy juggling, the things that she has been doing in her new role. But I think it is really important for us as leaders. From a chamber perspective, there are things that we have to share and where we can be helpers with other leaders. There's things we need to know and we need help from other leaders. So maintaining those relationships is really, really important. And I do my best to try to be, to be open and arrange those. I will say that we are in a region here that takes for granted how much we see our elected officials. So I think I sometimes am not as intentional as I need to be about actually scheduling a meeting and keeping them informed, because I think, I see Lee and Scott like every week, sometimes every day. So why would I really need to schedule an appointment to tell them something that I assume they just know because I'm around them? But I do think it's important. I just, as it is with staff that I'm with every day, had a wonderful day with my newest staff member yesterday. Just spent some time alone so we could get to know each other better, really getting to know what she loves about the job she's landed in and what she might like to do in addition to. And it was really nice for me to hear her say, I like to be part of planning. I like to be part of a meeting where I know what we're trying to do and how we're going to get there. So those kind of meetings are important with the people we spend time with all the time.
It's really funny. I was with some friends, and they're from a large city, and we were out at an event or something, and I don't remember if it was congressman or state rep. Anyway, somebody came up and said, hey, Luke, how's it going? Blah, blah. Oh, great. How are you? And then they left, and they said, they know you know them. They know it's like, you're from a larger area. You don't
don't necessarily run into your
yes
representatives all the time. Yes, we're really, really fortunate. But I do think, as leaders, we need to be working all the time. We don't always need to think the same things or have the same solutions. In fact, that would be a problem because as we look at our communities and try to keep our stakeholders happy, we're going to have to be very broad in how we look at things and how we solve problems. We need a lot of different people with a lot of different ideas and a lot of different perspectives. And even in a small community, we have that if we'll simply listen. So I think it is really important to sit down with other leaders. Speaking of which, we're going to start doing here in a couple days as our next year of leadership kicks off tomorrow.
Wow.
So tomorrow we'll be at our retreat, and a really important part of that is getting to know each other, getting to know who each other are and what perspectives we bring to the table. I was just doing my homework a little bit today on how we build good groups, how we bring groups together and make the chance to meet meaningful. So it's something that I think needs to be done intentionally. We don't just do it by chance. As we lead this leadership program, we're continually seeking information about how we can be better leaders to the leadership class and how we can help give them more tools, better tools, more meaningful tools that they can take back to their workplace, to the community, to their families.
Does it feel like going back to school? Like, is that first day of school feeling for the folks who will be going through the classes?
Oh, I suppose a little bit. I know we hear it from them because they don't know for sure who else is in the room, even though we tell them, who their other classmates were. They're going to be meeting people that they don't know, and they don't know what their classmates think and what their perspective is. And I'm sure there's a little bit of anxiety like there is with the first day of school. But I also think there's a lot of excitement. I think we've built a program that people have a lot of confidence in. Hopefully everybody that is coming to the class is familiar enough with me and with Tessa and with the rest of my staff that they're looking forward to spending some time with us and trust who we're going to bring to spend time with them. So I always had a little bit of anxiety and a little excitement around school. So I assume that they do as well.
It's got to be great. And you're somebody who gets to go through this process each year through the eyes of all these different students, which, again, you're learning things in addition to your students, but you're also learning through them as well, which has to be kind of a neat process.
Oh, absolutely. Because, we really try hard to know our members, to know their businesses, to know those in the community who aren't necessarily in membership. We do our best to talk with them. This gives us a really concentrated opportunity over 9 months to get to know them better and to invite them to share with us their, what their experiences in the workplace and the community. So I always look forward to learning those new things. And we continue to say it and work to do it, but we now have close to 100 alumni. So those have become friends and peer leaders, and that's another group that we hold very dear and would look to provide us with feedback as a chamber. A great group to help each other.
What's that mean to you when you see them in the community involved with things after having gone through the class, or an employer coming up to you and saying, "Boy, I'll tell you what a just a transformation, and they've really become a good leader in the business," or they're asking, what can I do, or they want to volunteer for things. What does that mean to you?
Oh, I think it's best when we're kind of surprised by it, when we see it in the community, whether it's, occasionally a comment on social media or in, somewhere in the public that's unexpected where they reference, what they learned through leadership. When we see someone sitting in leadership that we're like, we think that we were helpful at getting them on that path. And then, of course, some of them come back to us. I've hired people out of the leadership class. We've brought people onto our board, both in our Young Professionals Organization Flex and on my board at large. I have several members of my board that served on leadership. So I got to know them and trust them and build, hopefully that they trust me. So that, that's what it's all about. That's the whole idea, is that we're developing leaders that we're just then experiencing all over the community. And if I go to an event where there's more than about 10 people there, I usually can look around the room and say, oh, and they went to leadership, and they went to leadership, so they're more highly engaged in the community because they've gained a comfort level.
Let's do this real quick. You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Susan Williams with us here this morning, President and CEO of the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce. Well, hard to believe we're going to be in October, and it's not slowing down for you. You mentioned leadership, getting things started this week, but October's a really busy month for you.
Oh boy, it sure is. Yeah, we always think of the summer months as our really busy months with our festivals and events and vacations and all of that. But truth be told, most of us have to really watch taking vacation time during the summer because we're so busy here. But October holds a lot for us. We are, we in addition to the retreat happening the next couple of days, then we have our first full day session in October. And we're going to Italy. So I don't know if Christa's talked to you a little bit about that, but that's coming closer. We're getting really, really excited to go with the group to Italy. And then, we're looking at year end. You usually bring up that conversation. Hey, how are you preparing for, the end of this year and the beginning of next? That process has begun. So we're pulling budgets. We're pulling strategic plans. We're looking at, the changeover that happens on our boards. And sometimes we wait longer than we should to really look at some of those things. So trying to be, aggressive in looking at those things now, knowing that they take time if they're to be done well. So that's starting to make its way into the conversations around our staff table and around our board table.
Is it, I know what the answer is, but I'll just ask anyhow. Is it, here we go again, new year, or is it, all right, here we go again?
It's exciting. There are always aspects of it that are like a little overwhelming, and occasionally wake me up out of a sleep at night. But it is exciting when we see changes. Like our city manager, and I saw an announcement last night that someone else very respected in the community is retiring, and when we see those changes, they do give us a minute of pause to go like, oh my gosh, now we kind of start over in many respects. But it's a great time of excitement. I learned a long time ago to embrace change. It's inevitable, and it's really an opportunity to assess what's gone well and to get excited about what maybe could go better and introduce new ideas. So I look at every year as a changeover, a time to do that. Occasionally I can look at months that way. There are times during the year that we're like, we get a fresh start every month. To say, can we be more prepared to do our newsletter? Can we be more prepared to do, the tasks that can seem repetitive, but maybe we can just keep improving on processes and how we share. And so I think it's all in how you choose to look at it.
You mentioned the newsletter. That's wrapping up.
Ooh, it's wrapping up.
Okay.
Yes, it's technically we always call the 25th as our deadline to receive things because that will hit the printer. We like to have it ready to hit the printer on Monday. So that means, once it hits the printer, everything's in it. We still have a little time to get newsletter inserts. Now, we are going to have a lot of staff movement in the next 2 days. Tess and I will be out of the office for the most part all day. Kat will be with us part of the time. And I think my other two ladies have some different commitments. So I would invite those who are going to bring us something for the newsletter, an insert, to either let us know or plan to drop it off downstairs where we can get to it. So, but we could take things on Monday too, early on Monday, preferably. That's happening very soon. So watch your mailboxes on Wednesday. They should be in your emails and if the post office does their job, you should have them by Wednesday.
Well, and I was just thinking, if you're a business that's, putting together holiday type of events, or you just want to get the word out about things going on, you only have a couple more left this year.
That's right. Yeah, really, if you're planning holiday things, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get us those for this October newsletter. And absolutely, if you're like, oh, that is just not going to work, I can't do it. We're talking about 4 working days, really only 3 to get it to us. Then put that on your calendar for the first week of November. Call us and tell us, hey, I'm putting an insert in the newsletter. I have an important news item I want in the newsletter. Keeping in mind that events go on the calendar, advertising goes on flyers, and news articles we're happy to work with you on to be content for the newsletter. But if you let us know the first thing in November that that's your intention, then we can kind of give a jab saying, hey, when are you going to get that to us, or how can we help you with it? Occasionally with inserts, people are asking us to do the printing of them. So, just a matter of letting us know.
That's great. And as busy as you and the staff are, there's still opportunities to sit down and have conversations with you about membership opportunities, about sponsorships in the new year.
There are, and we've had a good week this week where we've had a couple of new members just come through who decided online. I'm guessing they just said, we've been talking about, let's just do it. Hopped online and new member. Others want to spend more time with us and talk to us and have us take them through that process. We are happy to do that absolutely anytime. We're a busy crew, and I often have people say to me, well, you're just so busy. I hate to bother you. Never a bother. I will be really honest when I'm just not available. When I'm at leadership, I won't physically be available, but I will be checking my emails. I will be listening for texts. I won't interrupt the class. But when we get a break and I have an opportunity, I'm happy to get back to anyone and let them know when I can meet with them if it requires a meeting, or help them solve their way to, a problem, or, whatever they need. We really, really try to be responsive. So, as I was telling someone in the last couple of days, there's a lot that's going to have me out of the office in the next month, but that does not mean unavailable. It just means I might not be stepping into 100 Seneca Street.
Well, and I know training and continuing ed is extremely important for you, your staff. You've got obviously conference coming up, which is a great opportunity to kind of catch up with your peers.
Training is very, very important to me. I just know that I haven't mastered all of the things that I need to run the best chamber possible and to be the best community member. And sometimes, I don't know everything to be the best friend and even the best mom, now grandma sometimes. So always seeking information, open to those around me that can share, but also looking for expert advice out there. I'm fortunate that because I've sought that information, a lot of it just gets makes its way to me. But again, just this morning, spent a good bit of time listening to a kind of workshop on groups and how to build better groups. And, anything that I learn, I'm excited to share, probably to a fault. So warning, if you get in my sphere, and you might hear about the last thing I listened to, read, learned, happy to share that.
Well, I think people enjoy sitting down and having a conversation with you. And if they want to do that, how do they find you?
They could give me a call at 814-676-8521. Email me at swilliams@venangochamber.org. And that's the key, venangochamber.org. You can always reach me through there. There's contact us. My email and phone number are on there. I'll always enjoy a cup of coffee with you, or whatever your drink may be. I'm happy to have tea too. So let me know when you've got a few minutes, and I'd love to visit.
Great catching up with you. Thanks, Susan.
Thank you.
All right, all the best. Take care. It's Susan Williams joining us here this morning, President and CEO of the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce. She joins us each Wednesday morning here on the Morning Drill.
U.S. President Donald Trump said on Tuesday he believed Ukraine could retake all its land occupied by Russia. The sudden and striking rhetorical shift in Ukraine's favor came in a post on Truth Social shortly after Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. Trump wrote that Kyiv should act now with Moscow facing big economic problems, and that, quote, Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. Such an extraordinary reversal would require Kyiv to expel Russian forces from 20% of its territory, including the Crimean Peninsula, which Moscow has held since 2014. Trump has previously suggested Kyiv should consider giving up territory in order to make peace. That has fueled Ukrainian fears of behind-the-scenes talks over a deal that would seek to recognize its occupied lands as legally Russian. Zelensky later told reporters his meeting with the American leader had been, quote, good and constructive, without going into details. As he left the press conference, he hailed Trump's Truth Social statement.
It's a big shift. This post of Trump, it's a big shift.
Zelensky later told Fox News that he thought the positions of the Ukrainian and U.S. teams were, quote, closer than any time before, and that he thought Trump's position had changed. Europe's foreign policy chief Kaja Kallas praised Trump's statements, while Russia's deputy UN ambassador Dmitry Polyansky downplayed their significance, saying, quote, don't get so excited about every tweet. While a market shift, Trump's only firm commitment in the post was to, quote, continue to supply weapons to NATO for NATO to do what they want with them. That's an apparent reference to a new mechanism allowing European countries to buy U.S. weapons for Ukraine. Zelensky said he had reached a, quote, understanding with Trump to provide security guarantees to Ukraine when the war ended, but again did not provide specifics.
New Directions Community Credit Union is now open in Titusville. They may be new to our community, but they've been serving our region since 1974, providing their members with affordable products and services. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, volunteers, attends school, regularly conducts business, or who owns a business in Venango, Forest, Warren, or Crawford counties. Visit their new location at 206 South Martin Street in Titusville to learn more about becoming a member. Best of luck to all the students and athletes this fall from New Directions Community Credit Union.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville. Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Our new home.
Somebody pinch me. Somebody say pinch?
Pinch.
We
mean we just bought this.
Yeah, we just bought a new house. Why are there crabs?
You don't call for pinches? Call for protection.
Hit it.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your State Farm agent is ready to help you choose the right coverage for your new house and your car.
All right, which way to the sea?
We're in Ohio.
So is that close or?
No.
You got a pool?
No.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Ronnie Long.
And I'm Lisa Mellon.
The name Armstrong reflects more than just a company. It's a promise.
While others focus on the short term, we're building for a future that's limitless.
From the dawn of cable television to the rise of the digital age, we've delivered cutting-edge technology like our advanced fiber network that redefines what's possible.
Guided by our core values, we have proudly served and strengthened communities like yours for generations.
Fat Chad's is Titusville's premier dining destination. Come hungry and enjoy these menu favorites: T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Dive into fresh pasta entrees like shrimp and scallop pasta or our signature Asiago chicken. And don't miss our famous burgers and fish sandwiches, all served with fresh cut fries. Fridays mean prime rib specials. Enjoy wild game Saturdays. And on Sundays, it's our all-you-can-eat wing buffet. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
211 is an easy-to-remember telephone number for finding health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. Every day, highly trained 211 call specialists provide referrals to basic human needs resources like food banks and shelters, physical and mental health, employment support, support for youth and child care programs, and support for adults and persons with disabilities. To learn more, dial 211 or visit pa211nw.org.
U.S. stocks finished lower on Tuesday, with the Dow dropping about 0.2%, the S&P 500 shedding more than 0.5%, and the Nasdaq losing about 1%. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell offered few clues as to when the central bank might next cut interest rates. The Fed reduced rates last week by 0.25 percentage point in what was its first rate cut of the year. Carol Schleif is chief market strategist at BMO Private Wealth.
The stock market today, I think, is doing a bit of a natural take a breather after the sprint it's been on in the last few weeks in particular. I would suspect some of today's market action, too, is people knew that Chairman Powell was speaking at this around noon, and they were wanting more clarity, the sort of clarity we got out of Jackson Hole. And instead, we got the sort of mixed message that we got out of the last FOMC meeting. So that's partly, I just think people are they're drifting around a bit looking for the next news item to attach to.
Tylenol maker Kenvue's stock bounced back on Tuesday, rebounding from a record low hit in the previous session. Investors noted the lack of new scientific evidence in President Trump's press conference a day earlier, in which he claimed a link between autism and Tylenol use by pregnant women. Other notable stock moves included AI darling Nvidia, which shed more than 2.5% after rising the previous session when the chipmaker said it plans to invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. Shares of Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple also closed lower. And shares of Micron Technology rose over 2% in extended trading after the memory chip maker forecast first quarter revenue above market estimates, betting on booming demand for AI hardware to boost its sales.
Well, a quick look at the weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Drizzle, periods of light rain today, temperatures in the low 70s. Rain early this evening, remaining cloudy with showers overnight, lows in the low 60s. Thursday, rain showers, a high of 70. Friday, partly cloudy, low 70s. Saturday, partly cloudy, mid 70s. Sunday, partly cloudy with temperatures in the upper 70s. That is a look at your weather forecast. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Well, excited to catch up with our next guest this morning. It's been a little while. Mr. Ron Arnold joins us. Ron, good morning. Good to see you.
Hi, it's nice to be back.
Yeah. You'll have to catch us up on what you've been doing, and there's been a change in careers. You'll have to tell us all about that.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm here on behalf of the Suicide Task Force. I'm still involved with them heavily. I had worked for Crawford County Human Services for close to 20 years, about 19 and a half, and the opportunity came up for me to kind of retire from there. And I found a position at Allegheny College that sort of plays to my community ties. So I'm now the Assistant Director of Student and Community Outreach there. Very enjoyable job, but I went from the guy that knew a lot of stuff to the guy that's learning things all over again. And it's been a challenge, but I'm enjoying it.
That's great. Well, congratulations on that.
Thanks.
And everything you've done for the county and the stuff that you continue to do. You mentioned the Suicide Task Force, and what an important organization to have in our county. Give us a quick recap for those, again, who might not be familiar with what that is and who you serve. Tell us a little bit about the task force.
The Crawford County Suicide Task Force actually started out of, I guess, a higher profile suicide that happened with a student. And the county wanted to do something to help with the fallout of it, the emotional fallout. So going into the schools, talking to students, talking to friends, teachers, families, things like that. And the county decided that they would like to see a task force. So they started a suicide task force to support young people and to do a lot of suicide prevention work, but also to offer that safe place to land after something like this has occurred. Because the grief of suicide and the questions that come with it are very different than just a person passing, say, of natural causes.
Yeah.
Right. So that started, wow, it's probably been 15, 16 years now that it's been going. And the structure of it is set up that we have like an executive board and members at large. And we want to make it a community thing. It's easy to get mental health professionals involved, schools involved, things like that, but we'd like to get more community people involved, because in the end, it's your friends and family and the people that love you that are going to offer the support to you that you need in the long term, so that maybe suicide doesn't seem like the best option to you.
We've had a lot of great conversations over the years. This isn't something that just affects veterans or a certain demo. You have no idea at times who might be having struggles.
No, I have
of all ages.
Yes, of all ages, and I've collected data from the coroner's office here in Crawford County, and by far more males than there have been 107 suicide deaths from 2018 through the end of June of 2025.
Wow.
So 107 people, 90 of which were male. A number of years back, it skewed toward older men and dying by gunshot wound. But right now, I mean, the demographic is ages 21 to 40 is what we're seeing. Still more men than women, still a lot more by using a firearm to die by. But it's shifting. And I know there have been some recent deaths here in the local community in Titusville that people they're like, we didn't even know. Like, how could this have happened? How could we have prevented it? So the task force talked about that very thoroughly at our last meeting, and Tom Hancock, who has been a longtime member of the Suicide Task Force, and Amanda Goodnow, who also resides in Titusville, are reaching out to some community organizations so that we might be able to do some training with them on QPR, which is question, persuade, refer. And it's an evidence-based model of how to intercede with someone who is thinking of dying by suicide.
Would you say it's rare that somebody's going to show signs, or are they there if you look?
I think they're there if you look. One of the things when I do my QPR training, I talk about this 3-step model of suicide, for lack of a better term. But I mean, what you'll find present is some type of pain or suffering that's going on, whether it be a major embarrassment. I've known people that have died by suicide because they have an upcoming court date and they didn't want to deal with it. Physical illness, mental illness, there's some kind of pain or suffering that overwhelms a person's connections that they have in their life. So if there is the presence of this pain and suffering somehow, and it is overwhelming those connections, and when those connections get overwhelmed, it compounds that pain and suffering, and it makes them at a greater risk for suicide. And lastly, there is a means by which to die by suicide. If the person owns firearms, if you know they have been stockpiling medications, even just the mention of like, things are going to be better soon, I'm going to be okay, could be a positive thing, or it could be that a decision has been made that this is what they're going to do. So interceding as we can, and in the Suicide Task Force, we talk about interceding in that connections thing, getting connected, making that emotional attachment to that individual that is thinking about this, and also working toward eliminating the means of harm. If you know the individual has guns, offer to hold them for them, offer to hang on to their ammunition. I lost a nephew to suicide this last November, and he had firearms readily available, and that's what he used. And had people known that this is what he was thinking about, they would have interceded. I mean, my brother would have gone and grabbed those guns and held on to them until he got past this turmoil that he was going through.
I was going to ask you, when you have, or when somebody has maybe helped in a situation. What's been the feedback from that person who was, that close from pulling the trigger or doing something? Is it, man, looking back, that was a mistake. I'm glad I had, somebody stop me. Is there,
Yes,
again, if people could get past that
Yes.
one moment,
Yes.
There is that, okay, I should think about this.
And I don't know that I would frame it as a mistake, because at the time, I mean, there's a lot of shame and stigma associated with suicide. I mean, people don't know how to handle that very well in general. And the stigma associated with the thoughts of even wanting to end your own life can compound that disconnection piece. So it's I don't know if it was a mistake, but it was deciding that there was a better solution. And the sticking around part, even though it might have been hard to get through, I have not known anybody with regrets that they didn't follow through with dying by suicide. So, and the people that are helping too, I mean, they're glad they helped. It's hard conversations and it can get very intense. But if you love the person, or if you care about people in general, even as a crisis worker, it's worth that hard talk through.
You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Mr. Ron Arnold with us here this morning, Crawford County Suicide Task Force. I think sometimes there are people that feel like, well, I care. Don't get me wrong, 100%, but I feel like I'm stepping into their personal space. What are some pieces of advice you would have for somebody who is questioning, how much do I step in and ask, are you okay? And what are those things they should be saying to those folks?
If you suspect that a person is thinking of dying by suicide, ask the question. Be as direct as possible. Are you thinking of killing yourself? And generally a person that is going to say yes. I mean, if they're thinking about it, they'll say it. This is something that we teach in our QPR classes. And you can go from there. I mean, it's like giving them that hope to hang a hook on, to stay around. Like questions like, well, you're not thinking about doing anything stupid, are you? I mean, not a great question to ask, because again, it's that shame and stigma thing, and that's just one more thing that's wrong with me, right? And it doesn't help so much. So be as direct as you can be. And if you are uncomfortable being that direct, find somebody who is, that can come in and have that conversation, whether it be getting in contact with a crisis line, having our local mobile crisis come out to assist, or again, a friend or a family member that can be a little more forthright about it. Ask the question. Persuade them to stick around, even just to get through today. And then you can refer them to professional help. But in the end, professional help is good for sorting some things out. But the relationships that make our life worthwhile is with the people that love us, right? So,
and it's not lecturing somebody.
No,
it's listening to somebody.
Listening, absolutely. Let them tell their story. And keep that conversation going. It's staying away from judgmental questions. Again, that's really stupid. I don't know anybody that would think about that. That's crazy. That must be hard. That sounds so difficult. Tell me a little bit more about what's going on. How do you think I can help you? Those kind of questions. What can I do to maybe make things a little bit better? And there will be some pushback, like you can't do anything, I've decided. But keep that conversation going. It's not always easy, but in the end, it's worth it to have someone stay, because that's what we want. We want you to stay.
How much, and again, we were kind of talking before coming on, I know you just dive into as much information as you possibly can. You want to learn everything, but when you look at things, situations, is it money? Is it bullying, social media? What are you finding that people are, it's adding up in their head quickly that this is the only way for them to handle it? Or are there still a lot of situations that are unknown and families are sitting there going, we still have no idea why?
It's really hard to pinpoint. With older people, we found it's kind of that disconnection. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to have people worrying about me. I want to take care of this now. This is going to be on my terms. With individuals that are younger, things that we may have been able to piece together is that they just don't see themselves going on past whatever this is that happened, whether it be a breakup, a financial stressor that's coming up again with an individual I knew that was facing jail time. They were overwhelmed by that idea that they were going to spend time in jail, and this was their solution to this problem. I'm just not going to do it. And they ended up taking their own life. So, I mean, the reasons can be very varied. But again, it comes down to that overwhelming pain and suffering that overwhelms your desire to stay, right? And this is a solution. It's a solution to a problem. And they're not looking at it as like, this is something dumb. This actually makes sense. This is why I'm going to do this, because I want to end this, whatever it is. So, I mean, if you know an individual that's going through a hard time, talk to them and just see. And if there are any indications that they might be thinking about ending their own life, ask the question, are you thinking about suicide?
So in that situation, be direct by asking, but also be ready to just listen.
Yes.
Okay.
And let them tell their story. And it's not even about trying to solve their problems for them. Sometimes it's about processing through things.
Yes.
And you can get people to process through their own things just by asking questions, right? Keep that conversation rolling for as long as you can.
Once that process happens, and maybe they're talking to a friend, are they more willing to maybe sit down with a professional, or are they still hesitant to maybe do that because they just don't want to admit that they've had those thoughts?
Again, that's that shame and stigma thing. And I think the idea is to validate the fact that they're hurting.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want to validate the idea that they want to end their own life, but you could say, man, I could see how you might come to this conclusion. There might be another way, right?
Let's talk about it.
Right. Yes, let's talk about it. And kind of keeping that shame and stigma about the thought of it over here and steering them toward that help. And a lot of people they're still very, pull yourself up by the bootstraps and I'm just going to deal with this head on. But that talking with a professional, a good therapist is like a good coach. They're going to bring out skills in you that you may not know that you have that can help you cope a little bit better or make decisions a little bit differently than you had in the past. And it can be a very, very beneficial thing. And certainly, in my view, more effective than deciding to end your life completely.
I just, I have this image of, all these, like a long hallway with a lot of doors, and those doors keep getting closed, shut, and things are tightening. You could be somebody that could be opening some of those doors and having this conversation and
Right.
asking, are you okay? Let's talk about it. And
Yes.
Again, I think, as you said, Ron, that it's so important to do that and to give somebody, again, not a place to lecture. It's a place to just listen, go for a ride, be willing to just open your ears and hear somebody out.
Yeah. And be willing to be in that place where it may be uncomfortable. But in the end, it's a growth opportunity too. I mean, the better you are at handling difficult conversations, the better you are at coping in life.
Yeah. You mentioned the task force. Is there room for somebody to join if somebody's like, this is really important to me, I would like to help
Yes,
somehow?
Absolutely. We have a Facebook page. On Facebook, it's the Crawford County Suicide Task Force. Our email is on that page. It's crawfordcountystf@gmail.com. It's the best way to get a hold of us. I'm currently trying to get everything that was once housed on a lot of the county servers and stuff and getting it into the cloud so that as people come on board, and maybe the next chairperson might be the head of the Rotary Club. We have to have a place to store that information. So I've been kind of working toward making it so that this can go in perpetuity.
That's wonderful. And again, you're working with groups. I would imagine if a service organization would love to have somebody come and speak at their groups, you could do that?
We are more than welcome. We're more than willing to do that, and you're more than welcome to ask. We have a number of members that are trained in the question, persuade, refer suicide prevention model, and we would love to come out and talk to your group. Take about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to go through the information. Again, you can contact us through our Facebook page in CrawfordCountySTF@gmail.com.
Ron, it's great seeing you this morning. Great information as always. Love having a conversation with you. All the best to you, and we love to have you back.
Yes, absolutely. I won't be a stranger.
Okay. Thanks. Ron Arnold joining us here this morning.